The airmen who make up Air Force Special Warfare are the most specialized warriors on the planet. They are the ones other special forces look to when the mission calls for their unique skills and fearless commitment. A job for the mentally tough and physically strong, these elite heroes go where others won't because they're trained to do what others can't. Our partnership, the U.S. Air Force Special Warfare Division, brings you 3 episodes taking you behind the lines of the U.S. Air Force Special Warfare, their training, their mission, and how the strongest elite warriors on the planet get better. How do you actually manage an entire year to get the things done that you need to get done when they have a billion things that they need to be the best in the world at?
Yeah. So John, if you don't mind, I'll go from the macro, and then as we build that down, I'll hand it off to you.
Yeah.
So essentially, we're in 9 different states. We're supporting approximately 15 courses across our pipeline in the human performance arm of our organization. With that, we had to look at how do we get everybody heading. I talked about the NSCA and getting people on the same head, all heading in the same direction, and we need things like continuity, integration of our parts, and link everything up. So we came up with a theory of developing what we call a human performance course map. Course map is a term that we use internally for planning. So it takes planning on the front side to be able to connect all these pieces. So we've got John as a strength coach, but we also have a dietitian. Do you think the dietitian should be aware of what John is doing for a strength and conditioning?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you think a ATPT OT should be looking at his volume and his program, his acute chronic workload ratio, all these different things? So we need to link all these parts. So we put a system in place where essentially, the main thing while we're here is for that tactical course map, the tactical planning, and what they have to accomplish to be able to do their job. We're trying to build the physiological and mental foundation of these individuals so they can display these new skills that they're getting, their technical, tactical skills, right? So to do that, we take it from the macro, we look at the tactical schedule. Okay, this is what they're doing. Then John will go in as a strength coach and say, okay, we have, big testing going on here, right? Prior to testing, if we increase the stress we impose upon the students, do you think that'll affect the testing? I think,
Totally.
I think the answer is yes, right? Dr. Brian Mann did a bunch of that with football. They found most of the injuries were at the end of the season. Why? Not because of who they were playing. Yeah, it's exams, exactly. Right. So, so John looks at the tactical course map. Then he develops his course map, his plan for that year. But we've got courses. So John's at a course, but we have multiple course linking. So we got to link all these things together. Now the dietitian goes in and looks at okay, they're on their feet this long. They've got, high physically demanding tactical training.
Need more calories, more hydration.
Right, those type of things.
That's awesome.
And then the psych goes in, and we have attributes we're trying to develop in these I say kids, but they're trainees or young men and women. But we need to instill these attributes. So if you ask me, I think within strength and conditioning, things like drive, arousal control, things like these attributes are present within strength and conditioning, and I don't know what the proper term is, but we implicitly train it within strength and conditioning. We don't put a name to what we're doing. So what we're trying to do is now the strength coach, the psych will teach the strength coach on basic skills within their wheelhouse. And now when that stuff comes up within strength and conditioning, John can be like, hey, we're going to work on arousal control. Instead of doing like the old days with speed, just run faster.
Yeah.
Just run faster. It's like, what? Okay, I'll run faster. I don't know how, but I'll give it a little more effort, right?
Yeah.
But we can give a means and way of, okay, now arousal control your breathing. We know tactical breathing and arousal control, and so we can work on those things. Cool. And instead of implicitly train, we train with intent. So that's psych. And then we have ATPT OT, we talked about a little bit, and they're also our safety arm to watch the volume. Dietitian, I talked about that. I'm missing part of our team here. John, who am I missing? we did strength coach, ATP, TOT, dietitian, and psych.
Sports medicine. I mean,
yeah, well, we have a sports med team. Yeah. But anyways, all these people are linked together in this, and we take these courses like that are going on, again, we're in 9 different states. So they're going on in different ways. We got to get everything for each, the TAC-P, PJ, combat controllers, and special recon. We've got all this big spider web that goes out, but we just have to make sure everything's connected so we train with intent.
Do you guys have a GPS tracking? Do you have anybody who does like data and data only?
Yeah. Data is another full conversation.
Yeah.
More numbers than.
I love that's kind of my wheelhouse. That's what I dig is like the whole how much data can you collect? What can you do with that data? What does it mean? Yeah, so that's really cool. Who does that?
We have HP techs who capture a lot of that information for us. So typically, if you go into a traditional strength room or college, whatever, it's usually the strength coach going in, putting the pucks on everybody and making sure everybody's all linked up. We have HP techs that do that. All that information is then taken and thrown into Smartabase, where essentially and then it puts it in its proper buckets. And then on top of that, we have a research flight. So we're a human performance group with a research flight connected. So remember what I just told you, we're coming up with the planning process, right? Yeah. So we're planning on the front side. We're capturing real-time information and now passing it.
Oh, so like you get better and better and better.
And now we know where we've been, we know where we're going, and we know what the future looks like.
Oh, that's so sick.
Nice having that budget there, Mash. We need to get that at your house.
I know. I'm going to ask Lenore Ryan today if we can get all that stuff.
You got like 9 figures we could spend on my home gym? That'd be awesome.
They'd be like, you're fired. That's awesome.
Do you have any tangible examples of collecting data and then viewing the results and then implementing new training program, parts of the training program, and then seeing real world results as a result of the data?
I'll say we're just starting this initiative and starting to link everything together, but I can give you a couple small examples. So let's first talk about the tech that we capture. We got Omega Wave, we've got Zephyr, we've got Sparta Science jump mats, and then
sleep bands.
There you go. We got sleep bands that we're looking at Aura rings at the moment for our students. Sleep bands. We do gravity tests. It's a urine analysis. I'm messing up the name. I know I am.
No, that's for hydration. That's
gravity.
Yeah. So we've got a lot of those different things in, and then that's all uploaded. Smartabase puts it in its appropriate bucket. So, for example, so I think data should inform the coach of what's potentially going on versus data telling the coach what to do.
Right.
So when I go through these examples, it's just there was more to it, but it's data that we use to inform the coach that then made the decision.